So my main job today is to make sure that you understand today's presentation. That's my main job for today. And I'll walk you through the entire presentation and emphasizing on the important things that you have to grasp within this business or when you are using the Inkryptus ecosystem. Because this is now the official presentation, and it highlights the vision that Inkryptus has for its end users. Like, what do they really want to achieve? What is the end goal? And throughout the presentation, I hope I'll be able to deliver all that tonight. So, for those who do not know me, my name is Charity, and I've been using Inkryptus since 2021, back to when it was only a website. So we started with a website. Then in 2022, I think we launched the application, and things went on from there. So it has been an evolution which I have been honored to witness throughout. And hopefully I have had an experience of what is the general direction of Inkryptus. What is Inkryptus trying to give to the clients? Or what is Inkryptus trying to make sure that the clients get at the end of the day? And now we have at least a point which we can, how do you call it? We can benchmark from. Like, this is what Inkryptus is, and this is so far what we can see. So from the first screen, we can see this is the first page. And it would have been better if I did this. Okay, so Inkryptus, your gateway to investing in crypto with confidence, simplicity, and complete transparency. So from the first page, you see like the three main points. Confidence, meaning that the client has to be in a point where they are confident about the project. Simplicity, meaning that it has to be simple for the client to make the investment. And the third thing is transparency. Because when we are going to see how Inkryptus operates, we're going to see how these three things are very important. That the client has to be confident in what they're investing into so that they can align their personal goals with Inkryptus. And also, it has to be very simple that anyone can do it. It doesn't have to be complicated. And the last thing is transparency, because when we are dealing with blockchain, when we are dealing with a trustless system, transparency is a very important point. Okay? So, this is the first page. So, the future of finance has already begun. The future of finance has already begun. And they're trying to highlight that the world is currently leaving the traditional financial systems, meaning that the systems that were used to, the centralized systems, the custodial systems, people are currently leaving them. Not necessarily that they are moving away from them, but no, they are finding better alternatives that they are now switching to. So instead of people nowadays going to banks and trying to do a transfer, they can just opt for USDT, which is quicker and faster. We have seen the case for, I think it's Bolivia. When we are done with this call, go and see what Bolivia is doing. Right now, Bolivia has a very big shortage of foreign currencies, especially the US dollar. And you know, when you're dealing with international transactions, they are mostly settled with USD, okay? Now, Bolivia has a shortage of that. So they have opted now. Bolivia is currently using USDT in a lot of its transactions. And I actually saw it on the news, and I was quite happy that we have a problem with the traditional systems. We have a problem that can be solved by the blockchain. We have to opt for it. So the statement that the world is currently leaving the traditional financial systems, that is what we mean by it. Like, we are evolving. We are moving from one stage to another stage, which is simpler, it's transparent, and it's better in that case. So the next era is digital. So from the traditional to the digital. And I think the traditional ones, at this point, saying that they're moving to digital has something to do with what? with physical assets like money, like stocks and stuff like that. So the next era is digital. It has to be transparent and free of bureaucracy. Now, I would like to stress this point here, free of bureaucracy. One of the things that I was trying to highlight today was this, that, oh, okay, I have to do, was, you have to know that blockchain, the main name of blockchain, among other, okay, blockchain increases accessibility. Accessibility. This is a very important key point for you, and you have to know it. Among the things that blockchain has brought to us is the fact of accessibility, meaning that when you have the requirements to get a service, when you have the requirements to get a product, you can access that product. I was giving them an example. For example, today you want to take a loan at the bank, for example. You can have collateral, you can have what they're called witnesses and all the requirements, but you still do not get that loan. Why? Bureaucracy. It has to go for approval of one person, another person, and all that stuff. Now, what blockchain does in systems like that is that they remove that third party, meaning that everything happens on chain. Everything is programmed that if this person has these qualifications, when they have collateral, give them a loan. And for the case of blockchain, it's usually if someone has collateral, you give them the loan. Simple as that. So the whole issue of that, the next era is not going to have bureaucracy, is the fact that everything is going to be predeterministic, that if condition A is met, then B has to happen. That's what we are going through. So going back to the presentation, it says that technology, freedom, and clarity are what the modern investors seek. And Inkryptus now, where does Inkryptus come in all that? Inkryptus makes it possible by enabling public part comes from the transparency aspect of the blockchain, and auditable. So you have public, auditable, and intermediary-free transactions. And in order for Inkryptus to achieve this, so in order for Inkryptus to achieve this, the fact that we have a public, auditable, and intermediary-free transaction, we utilize the blockchain. So Inkryptus operates using the blockchain in order to what? To make sure that these aspects are achievable. Are we together to that point, ladies and gentlemen? To this point, are we together? Please go to your box chat and type 222 if we are together to this point. To this point, if we are together. Okay, let me see. Okay, who is with me? Okay, Kidik, we are together. Rich Queen, we are together. Now, on to the next page. Cuthbert, we are together. Okay, so the market opportunity. So this is like a pitch deck, right? We're seeing that the current market has surpassed over 3 trillion, and it continues to expand. And one thing that you have to note is that in terms of market capitalization, you have to know that in most cases, people are moving from one asset, moving to the other, or an asset appreciates in value, or someone is willing to pay more for an asset. It's not magic. We see that cryptocurrency is now at 3 trillion, probably, because this is when it was dated in 15th of December. The market was at 3 trillion. You see Microsoft 3.5, Apple is 4.2, Amazon is 2.4. And soon, probably, the cryptocurrency market is even going to surpass the biggest companies on earth. It's just a matter of time because there's so much innovation that is flowing in, and there's continual expansion. Okay? So we have seen that governments, we have seen that investment institutions are shifting part of their capital into crypto. We have seen ETFs being listed, meaning that normal investors can invest in cryptocurrencies. Banks are now supporting investors or are given the permission to allow investors to invest or to advise investors to jump into cryptocurrencies. So there's a shift that is currently happening. We are seeing the industry growing, and it's not growing because of retail adoption, but it's growing because now institutions, governments are moving towards cryptocurrencies. Now, there's a hiccup point here that most people still don't understand the blockchain. That is very evident. You know, I have a chance that I usually speak with clients and I listen to them, I ask them questions, and when I explain things to them, you see that I am introducing something which is very new. And the blockchain industry is very unforgiving. It's very unforgiving. That's what you have to always remember. So since most people now don't understand a lot about blockchains, they don't understand about non-custodial wallets, they don't understand about private keys, they don't understand about so much aspect, Inkryptus has placed itself, okay, at this point that we are looking at serving clients that have little to no understanding, or even those who have understanding, of course, but people who can't access those services. And you give them the access, you give them a trustworthy platform and a platform which they can scale, which they can grow with. So that is the opportunity that Inkryptus saw. They saw like there is a need for people to move or for people to invest in cryptocurrencies. And we are going to position ourselves in such a way that we make this process as smooth as possible. So you can see the main aim is access. So it says that Inkryptus is the first exchange to adopt hybrid finance concept, meaning that you connect the traditional market with cryptocurrency market. Inkryptus bridges, okay, the traditional systems that we are used to, the custodial systems. And with that, you get access to the decentralized infrastructure, to the blockchain infrastructure. Okay? So Inkryptus is an access gateway. And that's why when someone asks you, like, what does Inkryptus benefit from you? We know that Inkryptus, what they do is they give us access. They give us access, meaning that I want to achieve something on the other side. I use Inkryptus as a bridge to achieve what is on the other side. And in return, Inkryptus is going to charge you a fee. And that's where Inkryptus makes its money from. That is where Inkryptus makes its profit. So when you buy Inkryptus gains nothing, okay? When you stake your funds, Inkryptus gains nothing. But when you do a swap transaction, you are charged $3. Inkryptus gets the money there. When you make a profit from your staking, they'll charge you a 25% profit fee. That is where Inkryptus makes its money. It's not like your money is, when you stake, Inkryptus has the money, they do whatever they want with it. No, your funds are safely locked in the blockchain. Inkryptus gives us access to the services within the blockchain. So when you buy your coins and you stake them, it's not Inkryptus that is holding your funds. Your funds are locked inside the blockchain. And that is something that you have to always know. It's not like Inkryptus I've locked my funds in Inkryptus. No, you have locked your funds in the blockchain using Inkryptus wallet. That is very important for you to always remember. Your funds are inside the blockchain, but Inkryptus is helping you to lock those funds. The access point. This is what it means here. So we currently have an app which is growing. As I said, back in 2022 when we were starting, no, 2021 when I was starting, we only had a website. 2022, they launched an application which has been evolving with time and time. So the app itself is a simple and accessible cryptocurrency exchange built for every experience level. It's very easy. Like when you look here, okay, let me annotate this. When you look here, you can certainly see this is my balance. Okay, when you look here, these are the assets that are inside Inkryptus wallet. It's very simple to tell. Very, very simple. Anyone can tell. Okay? So the main aim, okay, of this app is to simplify life. Instead of you dealing with smart contracts, you just see. Instead of you dealing with smart contracts, you just have to read what is displayed in a wallet. You just click buttons and you move on. Now, what can you access within the wallet? There's the wallet place, there's staking, the products, you can do swaps, there are gains, and there's the IDO program. So if you have Inkryptus wallet, you can see all those services, all those functionalities within the app. And you get an active dashboard, a complete dashboard that shows your balance, the rewards that you have made through staking, the active contracts, and the transaction history. And the good thing about the blockchain is you can see each and every transaction. From the very first transaction in the blockchain, you can see it. Anyone can see it. That's the good part. Every transaction that is happening, it can be seen. So even if someone says, no, I did not send you funds, just tell them, I mean, I sent you funds, but I don't know if why they have not reached. You can just tell them, give me the transaction ID. Once you have the transaction ID, you go to the blockchain, you search it, and you see, has that transaction happened or not? Okay. So on the aspect of security and custody, you get all your assets in one wallet, of course, and the storage is very secure using advanced encryption, and you don't need to manage the private keys. This aspect here, this aspect is very, very important. Private keys. The thing is, and you have to listen very, very carefully. So many people, of course, within the ecosystem, they complain about these custodial wallets. For example, Inkryptus, Binance, where they hold your private keys. But the reality is, so many people lose their funds because they expose their private keys. So I'm not going to go into details of what private keys are, but private keys are what gives you access to funds within the blockchain. So it's like your password within the blockchain. I want to move 1,000 USDT from this account to that account. So you submit the private key. Okay, this is the guy. then you can send the funds within the blockchain. Now, if you have those private keys and someone else gets those private keys, then it means they can do the transfers for you. They can send your funds. I once exposed my private keys and I lost funds. So I'm speaking of this based on experience, okay? So Inkryptus removes that part that you don't have to hold the private keys. You just need your username, email, and password, and that's it. You're set for an account. You can do your transfers in a very secure manner. And Inkryptus says that you get instant swaps with Inkryptus. It's $3, it's fixed. It doesn't matter if you are swapping 100,000 or you're swapping $100, it's $3. There is no hidden charges. It's as transparent as it possibly can be. Are we together to that point, ladies and gentlemen? Please, if we are together, go to your box chat now and type 333. If we are together, please go to the box chat and type 333. Okay, that's good. And that's actually good. Now, one of the most important things that we have to be with, or we have to now understand, is the Inkryptus token. Okay. So this is, I believe the main, yes, the main part of the presentation is the Inkryptus token. Okay. So what is the Ink token? Okay. Inkryptus has its native token. So usually a project is designed and the coin is used for interactions. For Inkryptus, for example, if Inkryptus is the car, ink is the fuel that makes the project run. So when you have an idea, you implement it on the blockchain. In order for people to use that service, they need crypto. In order for people to access the service, they need crypto. Now, you can either adopt an existing crypto and integrate it into your systems, or you can create your own token. So Inkryptus chose integrating using their own token, and it's built on the Binance Smart Chain, BP20, and it is a utility token. When you hear the word utility, it means that utility token of a specific project is a coin that grants you access to features, services, and incentives within the platform, meaning that it gives you access. It has a specific use within the ecosystem, a specific utility. Okay? So if you're free, if you have this presentation, then you ought to go and look at the smart contracts. I'm not going to go there. But if time allows, probably we can walk through those. And the token enables liquidity and reward mechanisms such as staking. That's the very important thing, that Inkryptus, when you have Inkryptus token, you have understood the project and you buy your Ink tokens, hoping that the project will perform well in the future. You have an option where you can stake it and maximize your return through what? Through staking rewards. Okay? So when we're looking at the whole aspect of tokenomics, this value actually changes, but we know that there's a maximum of 200 million ink, and 10 million was issued at the first day with an initial price of $1, and 190 was the one that has to go to the public. So in every single day, a maximum of 10,000 ink is minted from the 190. We have 200 million coins. That's the maximum. The initial mint was 10 million. What is left is 190 million. So every single day, they will mint 10,000 ink and give it to people who have done staking. So every day, 10,000 coins come from the 190, and it's given to people who have done staking. Okay? So the current circulation based on this day was 8% of the total supply. Okay? So these figures here, they change, but you know that, you know how to read this. You go to www.inkryptus.com, and when you go to Ink token, this data is always there. It's always updated, so you can see that on your own time. So here, let me speak of the staking rewards. Now, I said earlier that every single day, we have 10,000 coins that come into circulation. And these 10,000 coins are given out as staking rewards, meaning that there are different pools within Inkryptus. Let me annotate. Okay, we have different pools within Inkryptus. And the reward model is based on what? Proof of stake, meaning that you lock your assets hoping to get a return. Okay? You lock your tokens and receive automatically daily rewards. Daily rewards, automatically. You get daily rewards. Automatically. So the rewards can be redeemed daily according to the smart contract rule without relying on what? On trading. This is a very important aspect. Without relying on trading, meaning that all you have to do in staking is buy the asset, lock the asset, receive rewards. That's it. So everything is recorded on the blockchain. So it's auditable, it's predictable, and in a transparent manner. Everything is transparent. When we are talking of the blockchain, it always has to be transparent. Okay? So this is something which is very important. And you always have to remember this. The initial amount is returned at the end of the contract, subjected to market fluctuation. For example, today you invested probably, let's say, 10 million Tanzanian shillings. Oh, okay, let's use dollars because it's universal and it's going to be easier for everyone. Today you invest perhaps $1,000. One ink is 1.5 something today. You get perhaps 600 and something ink. 3 years down the road, ink probably is $2, let's assume. So it means that the amount in USDT terms of your investment is going to be different because the value of ink fluctuates. It changes. And of course, sometimes the value of USDT against the currency of your nation also changes. So it's very important for you to keep that in track, that the thing that you are supposed to focus on is the capital in terms of the coins that you have, the assets or the utility tokens that you have, the number of tokens. Now, the profit will fluctuate based on the price of the specific token that we are holding. Are we together to that point? Please, now I think it's 444. Go to the box chat and type 444, I think. Yeah, 444, if we are together to that point. Okay. Okay, I see people are very, very attentive. Now, we probably are going to look into this calculator later on. Okay. But so far, we have the simulator. We have the simulator. We're going to do the official simulator, I think, so that we can see how much you ought to make with a specific amount invested. But it shows, like, if you invested in $1,000, you'll get this amount, this number of assets, Monthly, you'll get this one. They'll charge you 25%. So net is this one. So for all assets, we are going to look into that. For all assets, this is just a simulation. And all of this more in the Inkryptus application. So we have on-chain games, we have the IBO service, we have the Inkryptus University, which is going to come. But you have to understand, like, at the end of the day, this should be the main key point that you take out of this call. Inkryptus is an access gateway. So everything happens on the blockchain. Inkryptus gives you access to what is happening on the blockchain. So we have an on-chain game. You're playing your ink, but it's interacting with the blockchain. You have the IBO, which gives you an opportunity when you invite your community, you share the fees generated on the platform in a transparent and collaborative way. Inkryptus is the first community-owned exchange in the aspect that it shares the fees that are generated based on who you invited within the ecosystem. And it's very transparent, and it's a very collaborative system. Perhaps if we get time on the next Zoom call, perhaps we can hint a little bit more about the IBO. But the IBO is a very good service. We did, when we were in Nairobi last week, me and my brother Trizi, we did a recording explaining to people that referral systems, when you get to a platform that has a referral system, it does not mean that that business is a scam, because everyone is a referral. Whether you do it getting paid or you do it not getting paid, everyone refers someone to a good service. So with Inkryptus is that when you refer clients to come to Inkryptus, because you have used Inkryptus and seen how good it is, then Inkryptus is going to share with you. They're not going to pay you, but they're going to share the what? The fees generated on the platform. Moving on to the last slide, I believe. So it says, Inkryptus, your gateway to financial future. And you can obviously download the application. And you can see, you download the app, you make your first deposit, use this, you see? So begin with a small amount, test it and see it in action, then decide how far you want to go. But before you tell someone to start, before anyone starts investing in Inkryptus, make sure that you're in a point where you understand what you are doing. Make sure that you understand completely what you are doing. Because if you don't, the wind is going to shake you. Because this is an investment, you at least have to grab. You at least have to grab, basically, what is this? How does it work? What are the advantages of what I'm doing? What are the challenges of what I'm doing? And how can am I going to do it or not? And how can I maximize my returns? For those who have been with us, please go to the box chat and tell us, what is the what do you call it? What is the challenge of this business? Can someone go to the box chat and tell me? what is the challenge of this business that we are doing? The investment that we are doing, what is the main challenge that we face? Can someone on the box chat tell me what is the challenge that we face? Yes, thank you, Dr. Libe. It's not price inflation, it's price fluctuation. And I'm going to show you price fluctuation shortly because I'm going to share something else. Before I head over to anything, I have a question. Kindly, is there any time where I am supposed to check market trends or trade? Or after joining everything done for me by the app, things I'm still trying to understand the following. Okay. So, as I said, and I'm going to repeat again for your sake, when you're doing staking, that's what we do with Inkryptus. You buy an asset and you wait for it to appreciate in price. That's the whole reality of having assets. So as a way of hedging against inflation or increasing your capital, you buy an asset and you let it grow. But within this period of growing, Inkryptus gives you an access that you can, these assets that you bought, you can lock them. And when we are giving out rewards, you can get a part of the rewards. So back to your question, you don't have to trade. Once you have your assets and you have them locked, you initially get returns immediately. Within 24 hours, you start seeing your returns. So you don't have to trade. You don't have to be on your phone. You just have to buy and stake. Simple as that. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, if you have a question, this is going to be the best time. But in the meantime, let's go to, I think we should do two things so that we can be on the same point. And it's going to help most of us. We are going to first see the simulator. Okay, we are going to see the simulator. And okay, it's loading. I hope you can see the new screen that I'm sharing, ladies and gentlemen. Please type 555 if you can see the screen. Type 555 if you can see the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Where is that simulator? Oh my God. Where are you? Okay, here we are. I hope you can see the screen. You can see the screen. Okay. Now this is the simulator. And it gives you a rough estimate of what you are going to make. So this, you can play with it on your own. I'm not going to do the math for you today, but I'm going to show you the basics. For example, if someone has $1,000 invested within the 36 months pool, which pays 0.27%, in 1 month, first of all, this is at the current price, it's equal to 646 ink. So within a month, you'll make roughly a profit of 3.9 ink. You stake ink, your profit is paid in ink. So this number here, the dollars that you ought to make fluctuate because ink fluctuates. So within a year, you can have this much. So these are rough estimates. It's not, how do I put it? It's not that, okay, this is how it is. No, this is how it might be. Estimate. It simulates. It's not real world, it's a simulation. And the good thing is that they have added, you can play around with currencies that you have. Okay, we have someone from South Africa. South Africa is, hey, your money is not here. Let me see. Yeah, South African is not here. So for example, the people in Kenya, for example, if you have 100,000 Kenyan shillings, perhaps you'll get this amount of ink. So you can play around with the tool like that. Okay. Now, one thing that I wanted to show before I welcome answers, I mean questions, sorry for that. I wanted to show, okay, it's down here, it's transparency. People have been speaking of smart contracts, transaction, all that stuff. Okay, let's see the swap, for example. Oh. Can you see this? Okay, I hope you can see the screen I'm sharing. Now, people, you've been hearing, everything is happening on the blockchain. Blockchain. So this is what typically a blockchain looks like. This is the Binance Smart Chain that we use. And this is not the one I wanted to show. Let me see. I want there's one I'm looking for. But typically this is how the blockchain is. This is okay. So when we are saying that everything is transparent, it means that whatever Inkryptus is saying, you can see it on the blockchain. Hey, so when you hear the smart contracts that people are saying, oh, everything is happening automatically because of the smart contracts, these are the smart contracts they're speaking of. So this, for example, this is the Ink token smart contract. So, this is the minting smart contract. So we hear that they're saying that the default cap per day is 10,000 coins. This is how it's written in the blockchain. So once this code is deployed in the blockchain, since you remember that one of the pillars of blockchain is the whole aspect of immutability, this code is there for life. So there is usually so much auditing that has to be done before everything is live, so that to make sure that the code works exactly as we intend it to work. Because once this is deployed, this cannot be changed. So you see that we have everything that they say, the maximum of 10,000 ink per day. This is where it comes from. Any important information, so this is just programming, all that stuff, programming. And there's usually, let me see. Let me show you another contract. Okay, let's look at this one, for example. I'm just showing you things. I'm just showing you things so you don't have to be stressed. You don't have to understand. You don't actually have to understand. I'm just showing you things, the whole aspect of what we are saying. So I showed you the minting contract that 10,000 coins are coming in per day. This one is the ink contract. So it says, okay, it's an ERC token, right? And Ethereum, it uses EVM, Ethereum virtual machines. So the name is Inkryptus and the symbol is ink. And the maximum is what? Is 200 million coins. And it also adds a function. You hear that we're saying that when we reach to a certain point, we start to ban the tokens, meaning that we remove some coins from circulation. So that's why you see ERC20, the token is also bannable. So it's so much that you can review everything. So to make sure that what they are saying on chain, what they're saying on their website, is it true on the blockchain? Now, this is the blockchain itself. Okay? So you can even see the transactions that are happening. Of course, let me see which this one is. Okay. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that's it. That's basically it. So that's it. Now it's time for questions. It's time for the questions. And I welcome you to